The Nelson Mandela University Missionvale campus hall hosted the Department of Basic Education along with the Department of Safety and Security and the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality and other stakeholders for the first day of the School Safety Summit. With recent crime spikes in the Nelson Mandela Bay and schools being targets of robberies, extortion, and vandalism, the Department of Education saw fit to host a school safety summit that will bring together community members, police, and other stakeholders to provide ways on how to strengthen school safety and provide a safe, violent, and threat-free learning environment for both pupils and teachers. With school final examination preparation approaching, the department seeks to ensure that the threat of extortion and being robbed won't linger over learners' heads. Education MEC Fundile Kade condemned the violent acts that are happening around the Gqeberha area, especially in schools.
Violence is one of the opponents of the current administration, whether you approach it from a gender-based violence and femicide, whether you talk about syndicate crime, whether you talk about bullying in schools, which is also a thorn in the flesh of the schooling system you have in the country. We have established, after we realized that just before the elections, we had to alter the operations of the sector. The HOD took a bold decision to review the budget allocations in order to respond to the immediate problems, because you can't be normal in an abnormal environment and allow government policies to operate as if there is absolutely nothing that is currently a thorn in the flesh of government. We then took a decision to say schools of schools of Nelson Mandela, Metro, and Sarah Batman must be prioritized on the school safety from an infrastructure point of view. The current Fairview fencing program, which cost about 8 to 10 million rand per school. We are currently busy with that. We are dealing with that, and we have unveiled that plan. And also we have got a budget for it so that we can be able at least to close juveniles out of school and to make sure that you know who is inside and who is outside. And at least there is an appreciation that this is a safety area where kids, innocent souls have been deposited by parents. So you can't allow in and out of school without controls. That's what I'm trying to say. So we allocated a bit of a budget for that here in Nelson Mandela, Sarah Batman, and also OR Tambo. They are currently busy with that. The tender has been out, and also those identified schools, contractors are on site in some. Again, we took a decision to say, yes, you have put fencing, but is your human resource ready to deal with this matter? And then the HOD approached Treasury and OTP to allow us a leverage of appointing 638, if I'm not mistaken, entry point of the administrators. We then took a decision to say, out of those that were going to be appointed, some must be redirected to security. And the plan is to take them, attach them to the bigger security companies that we have got contracts with as education. Because remember, in terms of the Ammunition Act, you are not allowed to appoint a security guard with an arm as a Department of Education. Now, it's only Department of Safety that can do that. Now, how do you then close up that policy gap? We then said, fine, appoint them so that they become your responsibility as Department of Education. But the training part, deposit it to the private companies that have got contract here, and also the beneficiation of having ammunitions from that kind of an act must be dealt at that level of those companies that you do have capacity, that have got capacity to do that. So that is what is currently underway now. And I think they should be in a short space of time coming here, because we have already won the advertisement and dealing with that. Lastly, for me, you are correct. When we were here, the only area which was a bit sticky was the issue of safety in schools, not broadly outside of the schools, which we were then responding to. And that's why we then activated SAPS through the MEC and the Minister, Honorable Mqunu.
HOD of Community Safety, Zukile Kani, says police visibility is of utmost importance.
And that is why 2 weeks ago, I, with the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masimula, and the City Manager, we signed a memorandum of understanding. The idea is to join our forces. So SAPS and the Metro Police will be working together to ensure police visibility. And part of that strategy is to make sure that each school is allocated to a police station where there will be a dedicated police officer that deals with that school. And then also the partnership that we will be signing with the Liquor Board is to make sure that the bylaws are enforced, that all shippings and taverns that are within close proximity of a school, they are shut down.
Buntu Chabe, a teacher from Kubegile Senior Secondary School, says they hope the summit will reap positive results.
Crime, yes, affects school because most of the times we lose our resources because of the crime. Things like vandalism when it comes to electricity. So some classes as well as Kuba, especially the ones that need electricity like ICAT. Also, it disrupted because all teachers they are scared to come to school now because of their safety. Yeah, so it's affected a lot. Mostly here in Gqeberha, the incidents take place coming from outside the school. So you get guys coming in and robbing teachers of their laptops, phones, even some of their resources that are crucial for day-to-day activities. Personally, I feel like if we could get more support coming from the department, maybe provide more intense security, because now it's hard for teachers to stay after school to get more hours so that the children can get something. So if we can get more security and also get the South African Police Services involved together with the CPF community forums.
A learner from Lawson Brown High School, Unam Buyeye, says the turnaround time for the department's response to the crime crisis is slow.
I feel like it's a good initiative from the government to bring up these things and talk about the incidences that happen quite like almost every day at schools, especially. So I feel like it's very important. There was incidences at school whereby kuko abantwana like omnye wasisa igani esikolweni, abanye under influence drugs okanye alcohol, and then the other one that brought a gun had threatened a learner at school, so then it was reported and ibintwende. So we are taking clash and stuff like that, with those incidences. And then other incidences are whereby like abantwana bayachaya, eat drugs and stuff like that. And then yabazi most day, xa benjalo then bekhona nomnye ebewa like wavandalize isikolo, walwa nabanye teacher and stuff like that. Into mna endibawula ndiyibone ephuma kule summit into bana like ewe ikhona imithetho ebekiwe ba bakwenziwe njani xa kwezi zinto, but mhla like i-SGB yasesikoleni sethu andifuna uxoka iyasebenza nzima nyani. So xa kwenzeka zonke ezi zinto bayaripota ku-department, but ke with i-department nee-processes zakhona bayacotha yonke into, like bathatha like into yanamhlanje izogqityezelwa in 2 months, in 3 months. So ke ngoku xa kwenzeka yonke laa nto within that 2 months before bayigqibe laa nto kubakho ingxaki apha esikolweni, because laa mntana ngoku lo masithi lo bezisegani befuneka aphinde abuyele esikolweni. Ngoku laa mntana bemthreatenishile ufunda naye in the same class class with someone that punched you with a gun. That wasn't like a very good learning environment for Lamdana and for other learners. And now for safety teacher bethu ke ngoku teacher ex-classini bagezelwa abantwana bathukwe osogqiba omnye nalo wegun bayamoyika nalo wegun, so and abakwazi uthina abakwazi umgxotha but because lo mntana bathi ba une rights zakhe even though he pointed someone ngegun.
The school's safety summit will continue for one more day at the Nelson Mandela University Missionvale campus. For Mpuma Kapa TV News, I am Pelisam Kendlana in Missionvale, Gqeberha.